Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Concho from Concho Sewing. Welcome to another edition of Basics of Sewing. So in this video tutorial I'll be showing you how to make the creases using darts, which I did in previous video sewing this pouch. And I didn't say much because I was going to explain it in detail how to make a pouch that has these creases with using darts. And I will explain how exactly you're going to do it. So, let's start sewing. So the idea is to sew a larger part of the fabric to a smaller part of the fabric. So we have a three-dimensional shape over our ideal part of the pouch, or what we are sewing in this example. So we have a rectangle that will be 18 centimeters by 14 centimeters. We will mark middle points on all four sides and draw diagonal lines. We'll be drawing a rectangle 18 by 14, so we can do this exercise right. We need a rectangle for this. So 18 by 14. Alright, to explain how this thing works, we'll connect the angles so we have a diagonal lines going from one angle to another, so it gives us a better clue what we're doing and what is the purpose of darts. Okay. Let's add middle points to all four sides. Alright, we have our middle points. The idea of darts is to shape fabric into to shape a flat piece of fabric into a three-dimensional piece, so to say. We will do 3 centimeters a larger part of this exact shape. So let's do that. So we have 18 centimeters, that will be 21 centimeter. 21 centimeter, and the other side will be 17 centimeters. That's 3 centimeters increase of the original part. So 17. Okay, now let's adjust the fabric, cut off the excess, leave a 1 centimeter seam allowance. Alright, now let's transfer the markings on the wrong side of the fabric, because that's where the magic happens. What I usually do with this, I bring the fabric close to the light source and I can mark the corners. If your fabric is too thick and you can't see through it, you can use another technique, which is to use something sharp or some metal or something and press exactly on the edge to imprint on the other side. It can work too. Alright, let's connect these. Okay, now let's add middle points and let's connect the corners. Okay, so the idea that we're going to use with the dart, so we have two things with the dart. I'll show you my example here. Okay, I will show you now how the dart looks. So we have like a diamond shape. The original one is just a triangle, but for the purpose we are going to need it, it's going to be cut like this, and I'm going to show you why. So we have an apex, a line in the middle which will help us when we start sewing, and the two side lines which are not equal. You will see why. So let me show you how to make this. Alright, so let's pick one corner. We want to compress it for 3 centimeters on each side. So we are going to do we are going to do 1.5 centimeter from one side and another 0.5 centimeter from the other. So draw 1.5 centimeter from each side here, and that's our 3 centimeter compression on this side. So let's do the other side as well. 1.5 centimeter, and we'll leave the rest for now. Now you want to, as we previously drawn the diagonal lines, you want to draw from one side, from the corner side, 3 centimeters, and you want to connect with this point. With this point you want to connect these two. Now, as you can see immediately, these sides are not equal, and that's because of the way of the fabric that we have cut it. Find translucent plastic, something like this. You can cut a plastic bottle or something like that, anything plastic that you can see through. It will make your life easier. Now take a marker and just translate it draw the parts that you will cut away from the something like that. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you can try. And now let's cut the shape out. And this is what you got. Hope you can see it. Now, important thing as well, because sides are not the same, when you put it back so it matches the sides, this is what I usually do. Just draw a line which will tell you which is the middle point of that side, and that will help you. I will show you why in a second. So this will always point towards the middle point. So we got one side here. Now let's do the other. Now you will flip the stencil on the other side, on the opposite side, so the arrow is always pointing towards the middle. And just translate onto the fabric like that. Remember to point the arrow towards the middle point of the fabric, and connect the line in the middle with the line you've drawn. Or if you haven't drawn it, just try to align each sides perfectly, both sides to fit perfectly, and that should be on the mark. Once again, turning the stencil arrow towards the middle point. Okay, so this is the final part. We have arrow, we have the dart in each corner, matching our sides as we go. From each side you should deduct by sewing it by 1.5 centimeter. That's the idea. We want to compress this part of the fabric and shape it to match this part of the fabric. So we want to sew it over the top. Okay, now it's time to sew the darts. But before we do that, so once again, we want to fold the fabric onto this smaller one. So what you want to do is take your fabric and fold it exactly in the middle, exactly on the line that you have drawn, like that. And you will see that is not exactly aligning with the other part of the fabric. Don't worry about that, because the sides are not equal and the angle is also not equal, so that's why it will go something like this. But the important part is that you align the middle point where that you press on the line that you have drawn in the middle of the dart here. Okay, so where you want to sew? You want to sew from this end to this end. I usually do 2 to 3 stitches here. So let's do that. It should look something like this. Let's repeat the process. So again, fold the fabric exactly on the line that you have drawn, diagonal line. Press with your fingers and sew following this line here, as you can see, this line. Two more, once again, pressing the middle line, diagonal line, and sewing on this one here. Last one. Okay, this is what you got, like a ball, as you can see. So we had basically molded, shaped our previous fabric, so it now fits this. As you can see, they are now basically the same measure. So we are going to sew it like this. But first we will need to sew our sides, which will go around this part. So this is how it looks once again. When you turn it around, it looks quite nice, and that seam gives a nice look to the fabric, and also it gives us a little curve, which you will see when we sew it onto this part of the fabric. It already has a curve, which is really nice. These parts that are sticking, we will press them like this. Let's start with this one. Let's fold it in the middle. It doesn't matter what's the size, because this is just a demonstration. We're not actually making a pouch. The important part for me is for you to show you how it looks when you sew around it. Alright, starting from the bottom here, we will align the fabric. Okay. Try to follow the line that you have drawn. It should give you a slight curve, which will be great. Okay, we will leave few centimeters for the top part, for the other part to fit. Let's come down and sew it. Alright, now for the other part. Okay, let's continue. Let's fold this, find the middle point, mark it, and let's sew it over. Now remember, this is just for demonstration purposes. Nothing here has to be precise, because the important part is the darts, not the fabric we are sewing now. Alright, now let's do the sides here real fast. Okay. All right. Now this is finished. You can see how it looks from the inside. It has that 3 centimeter rise on each side. Now let's turn inside out. And this is what we got. I like the design, I like how it looks. It gives a nice little shape instead of just being flat like this, like it would be regular pouch. However, this would fit now, and we would have one side that would look normal. I can't sew this because I don't have an opening to open the pouch after I sew it, so it's going to look like this. Hold on a second. Okay, now this looks more like it. I was lazy to sew a zipper, so it will have to do like this. I have to leave the open part so I can adjust the back. So we have 3 centimeter increase from one side, and we also have these seams or creases, or however you call them, sticking out kinda towards the middle and look really nice. I really like the idea and the design of these darts. And this would be flat surface compared to the elevated one. I liked this one better, but everything has its purpose, and the idea of this was to show you the technique I used in previous video, where I made so in previous video I made this utility pouch, clamshell style pouch, with the same technique, and I said I was going to do a video tutorial showing how I did it, and this is how I did it. So I hope that's now a bit more clearer. This pouch is empty, so it doesn't have that, but that's the raw idea. Okay, so that's it. Alright everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video, I hope you learned something. So new technique we've learned, hopefully, is using darts in our pouches to add style and to add a bit more space to the pouch, as you can see. So if you have any questions, post them down in the comments down below, and I'll try to get to them. Also, I have another videos, I will link them in the description below if you need some ideas to learn what to sew, or if you need to learn techniques how to sew. I have 2 playlists and you can check them out. So I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.